Hey guys, Andrew Esquivel here, back with an update of a review that I had done a while ago. Now, as you can see, we're looking at a pair of pants. A number of years ago, I had done a review on Duluth Trading clothing. Now, for those of you who don't know the company Duluth Trading, they make a bunch of work-based clothing and strong, durable clothing that in their words, are tougher than an angry beaver's teeth. I personally think if you're consistently pissing off an angry beaver to the point where it's biting you all the time, perhaps you should find a different resolution to your issue than buying a pair of pants. But point is, they're saying their clothing is very strong. Which, at first glance, yes, it is pretty strong. Granted, they are generally made in China. Some clothing of theirs isn't. It depends on what particular model of the clothing you get. So in the original review, I was in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, messing around with a 12-gauge shotgun during the midwinter here in the Midwest, which is pretty brutal. They treat these clothing with some hydrophobic chemicals that will wash off over time, but I was testing it to see just how waterproof it really was when it was brand new, how comfortable it was, and of course how durable it was. And in the first review, I was actually very pleased. I really liked the clothing, and I thought they were going to last a very long time, which is why I spent several $100s buying more and more and more of their clothing. Well, I made an update to that review not too long ago, where I had shown the catastrophic failures and malfunctions of their clothing that happened in every single pair of pants that I had gotten from them. I had the Duluth Flex Fire Hose pants, and the issue was right at the crouch gusset, right after the first, or before the first seam, which is right about here, which is actually the weakest point, really. It doesn't matter how many stitches you have, you're going to have a weak point, was ripping and tearing and going all the way down that way. And that was no good. A pair of pants that you spend $74 on as a pair of work pants, you would hope would, well, stand the test of time. But to have pants that would consistently tear on you in the same manner over and over again led me to feel that their clothing didn't live up to their claims. So I was a little upset about that. Now, they do have this thing called a no-bull guarantee, where they'll honor the warranty far beyond the time frame of what most companies will. At this point, it had been like 2 years, and they said, no, we're not going to honor the warranty. And I'm like, all right, well, that's fair. I did have them for a while. I just figured I'd call and see, just to see what you guys had to say. Because yeah, I had to order them all the Duluth clothing online because I didn't live anywhere near a Duluth store, which was based in Wisconsin at the time. I actually live in Illinois. I just go to Wisconsin to visit family at that point. And as I was discussing my dissatisfaction with not only the pants, I was having problems with their buck-naked underwear, which I know is going to be kind of weird. I'm not going to show you any used underwear. I'm going to show you brand new, unused boxer briefs with more ridiculousness, with some dude sprinting across this label with a black line over his junk. They really have the most bizarre ad campaigns, but they're funny as hell. I'll give them that. But the point is, they say, oh, our underwear is no wimpy waistbands. And I completely disagree, because I had an issue where, well, let's put it like this. I have boxers that are like 6-7 years old in good condition. You wash them and clean them and you wear them and you repeat that cycle. That's how you clean. You don't wear clothing just once. But I had some off-brand, like Walmart boxers, where the waistband is perfectly fine after 5 years of use. But these waistbands became stretched out and unusable to the point where they weren't elastic anymore. And I'm not talking stretched out to the point where the maximum width of my body. I'm talking they were stretched out way past my own waistline to the point where they were just falling down on their own. I'm like, how does that even happen? How do you have underwear or any sort of elastic band that goes around your waist get larger than your waist? And I'm like, I wash them as recommended on the tags and whatnot that they have on there. So I was like, well, this ain't good. You know, these buck naked underwears, yeah, they're comfortable and all that, but they ain't cheap either. Each one of those is a good $24. So I'm like, well, what the heck? You know, I'm spending $75 on a pair of pants, $24 on, you know, their undergarments here, and they're failing on me consistently. And I'm like, well, I guess, you know, they're all made in China. Perhaps maybe they're really not the best material after all, even though they were good at first. So I had made the update to the review explaining all this and my dissatisfaction, and the many pairs of pants were hundreds of dollars, about $240 worth of pants had just, you know, all torn, and, you know, like $100 worth of their undergarments here, it had all malfunctioned in the same manner. So, I was saying stay away from Duluth if you want something that really lasts long, but something recently changed. And this won't apply to everyone, but at the very least it applies to me. So, as you can see here, I do have a bag from Duluth, and that's because Duluth Trading here in Illinois just opened up a store, and the store was relatively close enough for me to justify going over there and seeing what they have, just for the heck of it. And you know what they said? They said, hey, we don't care that your pants are 2 years old. Bring them on in, we'll replace them. And I'm like, are you sure? I mean, that's not what Duluth Corporate told me. And they're like, yeah, bring them on in. And I'm like, well, let me hear it from a manager. And they brought the manager over, and the manager said, yeah, just bring them on in, and we will get it taken care of for you. So I was like, okay. So the next day I came back, and sure enough, I brought every pair of clothing I had that had malfunctioned. I had thrown out several pairs because they hadn't had the store open at that time, and I didn't know they were going to open the store. And, yeah, they replaced some pants. You know, this is the Flex fire hose. That is just straight up fire hose. I decided, look, if I'm going to buy their clothing, maybe the reason why they're failing is because the small amount of spandex is the weak point in the clothing, so I'll just get all of it with a really tough canvas. But, you know, for the Flex fire hose and everything, you know, these are the ones that I like. They feel the most comfortable, and they can be durable, except for the point in which they break near the crotch. So, I'm actually delightfully surprised that they would say, hey, we don't care how old it is, bring it in and we will replace it. And these were pants that were over 2 years old. And they didn't put up a fuss about it. They just did it. In fact, they gave me store credit towards other stuff. I decided, well, you know what? If they're going to, you know, replace this, I might as well, you know, get a new pair of pants. I already have a bunch of other pants, you know. Maybe I'll get some more of the buck naked underwear, so that way I have more, just because it's always good to have more. You don't have to do laundry as much if you have more clothing. I mean, granted, you do larger loads in the laundry then, but, you know, it's how you want to do things. It's how I wanted to do things, so I got a bunch of that stuff, and on top of that, I had a little bit of credit left over. And instead of just giving me a gift card with store credit, they just put the money back on my credit card. Money that was spent over 2 years ago. Because I had it left over, I didn't use all the credit worth of the clothing. It just went back on a credit card. And I'm like, wow, okay. So I went there, got brand new clothing replaced, and I got money back. And I'm thinking to myself, well, this is the kind of service you just can't find. And it's because it's a physical store. That's the big key right here. If you have a physical store you can go to, they treat you nice. And I will tell you this much, folks. The people at the store are really, really friendly, and they're very knowledgeable about their own products. I mean, really, I was blown away just by the customer service. But the fact of the matter is, you know, I feel more comfortable buying their stuff knowing that they're going to honor a warranty if something goes wrong. They truly do believe their stuff is good and they stand by it, even if I fully expect that these pants are going to have the same problem as always. But if it does, I've got the receipt in the bag here. I could just bring it back and get a replacement and say, yeah, did it again. I don't know why. So, you know, I thought I'd give them credit where credit is due. I'll be honest. I was leaning against Duluth. I was going to go straight Carhartt, but now I'm leaning back towards Duluth again. And I gotta say, you know, with customer service like they had at the store, if that's how they're going to manage stuff, they have my business again. So, good on you, Duluth. You made a very good impression for me, and I was going to stop buying your products altogether, and yet you come and you snag me back in by hiring awesome people and being very kind. So, that's pretty much it, guys. I wanted to give you an update and make sure that, and if anyone from Duluth is watching this, let them know that, hey, I'm you know, like I said, I give credit where credit is due. They really were cool. So, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, show your friends. Check out my other videos. I got plenty of them. And as always, I'll see you next time.